Before he was the most famous athlete on the planet, before the $1 billion, before the championships, he was a little boy in Akron, Ohio, who sometimes did not know where he was going to sleep at night. His mother was a teenager, his father was a ghost, and the city around him was falling apart, factory by factory, block by block. By the time he turned 9 years old, he had already lived in more apartments than most adults live in across an entire lifetime. He missed 83 days of school in a single year, not because he was lazy, not because he did not care, but because his life simply would not stand still long enough to let him be a kid. Today, that same little boy owns a 30,000 square foot mansion on the edge of the same city. He built a school for children living the life he used to live. He built apartments for families with nowhere else to turn. He built a full-service health center for a neighborhood the rest of the country forgot about. He opened a community hub with a Starbucks, a museum, and restaurants on a corner that used to sit empty. And he personally committed $42 million to send more than 1,000 Akron kids to college for free. This is LeBron James. And what he has done in Ohio is not philanthropy. It is not a tax write-off. It is not a photo op. It is a takeover, a quiet, deliberate, brick-by-brick takeover of an entire American city by one man who refused to leave it behind. LeBron Raymond James came into the world on December 30th, 1984. His mother Gloria was just 16 years old, a child raising a child in a city that was already bleeding out. Akron in the 1980s was a place watching its own future disappear. The rubber plants that had built the town for generations were shutting their doors one after another. Jobs vanished, families scattered, and in the neighborhoods where Gloria was trying to hold her tiny family together, poverty was not a temporary condition. It was the weather. It was the ground under your feet. LeBron and his mother moved constantly from one apartment to the next. Evictions, unsafe buildings, rent money that never showed up on time. By the time he was in 4th grade, LeBron had no concept of what a permanent address even felt like. Then came the year he missed 83 days of school. Think about that number for a moment. That is almost half a school year gone, because a little boy's world was too chaotic to allow him to simply show up and learn. Everything changed the day a youth football coach named Frank Walker noticed him. Frank saw a kid drowning and threw him a rope. He offered LeBron a place in his own home. Gloria, facing the hardest choice a mother can ever face, said yes. She let her son go so that he could finally have a bed that did not move. At the Walker house, LeBron was introduced to basketball, and for the first time in his life, he had structure, consistency, and people who expected him to be somewhere the next morning. From there, the rise was almost cinematic. He landed at St. Vincent St. Mary High School, where he quickly became the most talked about young basketball player this country had ever seen. ESPN started broadcasting his high school games. Sports Illustrated put him on their cover while he was still a junior and called him the chosen one. In the summer of 2003, the Cleveland Cavaliers made him the first overall pick of the NBA draft. He went straight from a high school gym to the brightest stage in professional sports. But before any of that, before the fame, the fortune, and the billion, there was one apartment that mattered more than all the others. Spring Hill. Apartments, Unit 602. The place where LeBron and Gloria finally caught their breath, where they stayed for a stretch of years between 1996 and 2003. Years later, when LeBron launched his own entertainment and media company, he did not name it after himself. He named it Spring Hill. Hold on to that detail, because everything this man has built in Ohio can be traced straight back to what he learned inside the walls of that one apartment. In 2003, fresh out of high school and barely old enough to vote, LeBron purchased a piece of land in Bath Township, a peaceful pocket of Summit County sitting right on the outskirts of Akron. The price tag was $2.1 million. He knocked the existing house down and started from scratch. What rose up in its place is a 30,000 square foot estate sitting on roughly 7 acres, 6 bedrooms, 8 full bathrooms, 6 additional half bathrooms. That is 14 bathrooms inside a single home, for anybody still trying to wrap their mind around the scale of the place. But honestly, the bathroom count is the least interesting thing about this house. What makes this property legendary is what lives inside it: a 2-lane bowling alley, a full casino room, a home theater with stadium-style seating, a sports bar, a recording studio, aquariums built directly into the walls, a private barbershop, because apparently even billionaires need a lineup on short notice, and the master suite features a walk-in closet that is 2 stories tall, with its very own staircase connecting the levels. Property value estimates today hover somewhere between $9.2 million and $10 million. But a custom build of this size and style is really worth whatever LeBron says it is worth. Nobody else was ever going to build this house. And then in 2006, while the main mansion was still being completed, LeBron quietly picked up the house right next door for $425,000. It was a 4,500 square foot property on 3 acres with 4 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, a fireplace, and a spa. The house was connected to the main estate through a shared driveway. Most athletes buy a mansion to announce to the world that they finally made it. LeBron bought his to stake a claim, to anchor himself to the same zip code that raised him on his own terms. But the house is just the opening chapter. What he did next is the reason the people of Akron do not just respect him. They belong to him, and he belongs to them. On July 30th, 2018, LeBron cut the ribbon on the I Promise School in Akron. It is a real public school, operating inside the Akron public school system with support from his family foundation. And it was designed for one very specific child, the child LeBron used to be. He opened the school to kids who are struggling economically, falling behind in reading or dealing with learning challenges. It fits the exact profile of a child who might miss 83 days of school in 4th grade because his home life is crumbling. But LeBron did not just open a school and stop there. He went to war with every single obstacle that keeps a poor child from getting an education. There is no tuition. Uniforms cost nothing. Every single meal and snack is provided for free. Transportation is handled. Every student walks out with a free bicycle and helmet. The school day stretches from 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon, much longer than a typical school day, because LeBron understood that the most dangerous hours for a vulnerable child are the hours after the final bell rings. The academic year even begins in July, a full month earlier than most schools in the country, because summer learning loss eats low-income students alive. And then there is the centerpiece of the whole thing, the promise that gave the school its name. Every student who finishes the program, keeps their grades up, and graduates from high school is handed a fully paid scholarship to the University of Akron. No catches, no partial coverage, no maybe. Full tuition, locked in, waiting for them. LeBron and his foundation put up as much as $42 million to fund roughly 1,100 of these scholarships. The University of Akron was so stunned by the partnership that they went ahead and renamed their entire College of Education after his foundation. In 2020, Kent State University stepped into the mix as well, offering 4 years of free tuition plus a year of room and board to I Promise graduates. The school opened with 240 students and has since grown to around 500 kids spread across grades 3 through 8. In that very first year, 90% of students hit or surpassed their expected growth targets in both reading and math. LeBron did not just build a classroom, he built a pipeline that carries a child from the most broken circumstances all the way to a college degree, and he personally paid for every mile of that pipeline. But here is where it gets bigger, because LeBron figured out something that most wealthy donors never fully grasp. You cannot teach a child who does not have a safe place to sleep. In July 2020, his foundation opened the I Promise Village. It has 16 units of transitional housing, tucked inside a historic apartment building just a few blocks from the school itself. The village was built for families in active crisis, families staring down homelessness, families running from domestic violence, families whose kids were about to vanish from school, roles simply because they had no stable address to list. Each unit comes with shelter, support, and a full suite of services, including financial literacy classes, healthy cooking lessons, sewing workshops, and basic home repair training. The idea is not just to house these families for a season, but to give them the skills so they never need emergency housing again. Then in June 2023, the foundation went bigger. They cut the ribbon on I Promise Housing, 50 brand new, affordable apartment units built in partnership with a local development corporation, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units, all wired with fiber internet, with community rooms and fitness spaces built right in. Rent sits somewhere between roughly $700 and $1,100 a month. A school, emergency housing, and permanent affordable housing. LeBron was not writing feel-good checks. He was laying down the kind of infrastructure that whole governments are supposed to provide. The difference is that he did it faster, and he put it right in the neighborhoods the government walked away from. On March 30th, 2023, the foundation opened the doors to House 330 on West Market Street in Akron. The name is a tribute to Akron's area code, and the building itself is a reimagined version of a legendary old Akron event space. House 330 is not just one thing, it is a little bit of everything. Inside you will find a Starbucks community store, the very first licensed Starbucks to open in the state of Ohio, where every single dollar of profit is funneled directly back into the LeBron James Family Foundation. The staff is made up of parents from I Promise families, which means the coffee shop doubles as a training program and triples as a fundraising engine for the neighborhood. Right next to the Starbucks, there is a sweet shop, a secret pizza spot, and a retail store. There is a space for community programming that hosts Taco Tuesdays, money management workshops, and family events. Sitting in the heart of the building is the LeBron James Home Court Museum, a full exhibit that walks visitors through his climb from Spring Hill Apartments all the way to the top of the sport. In July 2024, the foundation opened I Promise Health Quarters, sitting right across the street from House 330. It is a complete community healthcare facility offering medical, dental, optometry, pharmacy, lab work, and behavioral and mental health services. It runs as a federally qualified health center, which means it accepts Medicaid, Medicare, private insurance, and offers sliding scale prices for anyone without coverage. Let that list sink in one more time. A school, transitional housing, permanent affordable housing, a community hub with a museum and restaurants, a healthcare center, all sitting within a few blocks of each other, all built or set in motion by a man who once missed 83 days of school because his childhood was coming apart at the seams. That is not charity work. That is a city inside a city. Before any of that concrete was poured in Akron, though, LeBron gave Cleveland something the entire region had been waiting more than half a century to feel. In 2014, after 4 seasons in Miami and 2 championships with the Heat, he announced that he was going back. He wrote an essay for Sports Illustrated that opened with one simple line about coming home. At that point, Cleveland had not won a major professional sports championship since 1964. An entire generation of fans had been born, grown up, and started raising their own children without ever once tasting a title. In the 2016 NBA Finals, the Cavaliers ran into a Golden State Warriors team that had just set the all-time regular season wins record. The Warriors jumped out to a 3-game lead. No team had ever crawled back from that hole in finals history. LeBron did not just crawl back. He delivered what many people still consider the greatest individual performance the finals have ever seen. Back-to-back 41-point games in Games 5 and 6. Then in Game 7, with the score tied and the clock winding down, he chased down a fast break and pinned a layup against the backboard in a play that is now simply known as the block. Moments later, Kyrie Irving drilled the go-ahead 3. Cleveland won, 93-89. LeBron finished that night with 27 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks, becoming only the 3rd player in history to record a triple-double in a Finals Game 7. He dropped to the floor and broke down in tears. A whole city broke down with him. Then he went straight back to Akron and kept building. Today, LeBron James is worth around $1.2 billion, making him the first active NBA player ever to cross into billionaire territory. His career salary alone is north of $581 million, more than any basketball player has ever earned through contracts. His lifetime deal with Nike, signed back in 2015, is reportedly worth over $1 billion and pays him roughly $32 million a year. His company Spring Hill, named after that apartment unit where he finally caught a break as a kid, was valued at around $725 million in 2021. He holds a piece of Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool Football Club, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. He owns around 19 Blaze Pizza franchise locations. His family investment firm, LRMR Ventures, is headquartered not in Los Angeles, not in New York, but in Akron, Ohio. A billionaire with global holdings chose to plant his financial flag in a mid-sized Ohio city of roughly 190,000 people. That tells you everything you need to know about how seriously this man takes the place that made him. The full I Promise ecosystem now covers a school serving over 500 children, 16 units of emergency housing, 50 units of permanent affordable housing, a full-service healthcare center, a community hub with a Starbucks and a museum, guaranteed college scholarships worth $42 million, GED programs for parents, job training and placement, free meals, free bikes, and free rides. He did not simply build a school and call it a day. He built a complete system: education, shelter, medical care, employment, financial education, and a sense of belonging. Every layer a human being needs in order to stop surviving and start living. All of it in Akron. All of it for the people still walking the same streets he used to walk. From a cramped apartment in Unit 602 of Spring Hill, to a 30,000 square foot mansion, to a billion-dollar empire, to a community infrastructure network that functions like a small government, LeBron James does not simply own a city. The city owns him right back, and he wears that like a crown. A boy who missed 83 days of school built a school. A boy who never had a steady address built housing. A boy who grew up without a doctor built a clinic. A boy who had nothing promised more than 1,000 kids a future. That is LeBron James. That is the Ohio empire he built with his own 2 hands. And that, without question, is as next level as it gets. If this story hit you somewhere real, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We bring you deep dives like this one every single week. Leave a comment and tell us which piece of LeBron's Akron kingdom surprised you the most, and pass this video along to somebody who needs to hear it today. We are only just getting warmed up.